Hello from the Year 3-4 team. As you know now, I'm in charge of the home learning for all of Year 3 and 4, so if you've got any questions or anything at all, don't hesitate to contact. I'm going to be covering 3 things in the video today. I'm going to be going through the science on the PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to be reading the rest of our story, and we actually finished the book today, and the third thing is going to be the shout-outs to show some of the incredible work that I've received from all of you this week. So let's go. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a mini lesson on the science, which I know is based on man-made light and natural light. So my question to you is, what is man-made and natural light, and what are the differences? Well, let me show you. So, man-made light is normally controlled by a switch. We're able to turn it on and also off. Natural light just happens. We can't control when it's on and we can't control when it's off, such as night and day. Now, what natural light causes us to have day? Well, of course, it's the sun. Okay, so what I want you to do now is just have a think about all of the different man-made light sources you come across on a daily basis, either in the house or outside the house. And I'll give you one for example. How about the torch on your phone? So write down as many as you can, off you go now. Ta-da! Here's my list of natural light sources. Now actually, I was quite surprised at how many I could think of that are around us. Now what I want us to think about is natural light sources. These are naturally occurring and come from many sources. Did you know animals also create their own natural light, such as the anglerfish and the glowworm? How amazing is that? Not only do those two animals create their own light, but also mushrooms, some jellyfish, and also fireflies create their own light. And this is known as bioluminescence. Have you ever been laid in bed at night and heard a crash and a flash of light through your window? Well, I'll tell you, it's lightning, another form of natural light. Lightning is created by bursts of electricity during a thunderstorm. It's caused by an electrical charge in the atmosphere that is unbalanced. Did you know bursts of lightning happen somewhere in the world every second? That's quite a lot of lightning strikes. Another form of natural light is fire. However, kids, don't try this at home. Now, fire is a naturally occurring source of light. However, sometimes we can control it by blowing it out, as you've just seen. But most of the time, if it's a large fire, it will tend to go out on its own. As well as fire, there are other natural sources of light, such as the stars and lava, and even electricity. It's poster time! So what we're going to do now is turn all of that information we've just discussed about man-made and natural light into a poster. Now let's just recap the main differences between man-made and natural light. So man-made light is created by humans and natural light happens naturally. So let's just remember that, because that's the key fact we need to put onto our poster. So off I go and enjoy the result. Wow, I actually really enjoyed making that poster. So here's a copy of my poster that I made based on natural or man-made light. I split it into 2 sections, natural light, man-made light, and then put the facts down the middle. I'll show you now a picture so you can see it closer up. I hope my poster was helpful, and I can't wait to see the posters that you create at home based on natural and man-made light. However, now I'm going to read the rest of our story based on Michael McCorgo's The Day I Met a Whale.
All the rescue team and the divers were still there, and so was Mrs. Ferguson, sitting by the wall wrapped in a blanket. And everywhere there were still dozens of onlookers. The egret was there on his buoy, and the whale was floundering near the shore, not far from where Michael had left him. But there was something else out on the river. He looked like a barge of some sort, and it hadn't been there before. Michael was sure of it. He ran over to Mrs. Ferguson. "Miss, what's that barge there for?" he asked her. "What's going on?" "They're going to lift him, Michael," she said. "They had a meeting and they decided it's the only way they can save him. They don't think he can do it on his own. He's too weak and too disorientated. So they're going to lift him onto that barge and carry him out to sea." "They can't!" Michael cried. "They'll kill him if they do. He can't live out of the water. He told me so. He's my whale. I found him. They can't. They mustn't. I won't let them." Michael didn't hesitate. He dashed down to the shore and waded out into the river. When he found he couldn't wade any more, he began to swim. A few short strokes and he was alongside the whale. He could hear Mrs. Ferguson and the others shouting to him to come back. He paid them no attention, and the whale looked at him out of his deep, dark eye. "I need you with me," he whispered. "I know. I'm back," Michael said. "Are you listening? Can you hear me?" "I hear you," replied the whale. "I'm going to swim with you," Michael told him. "I'm a really good swimmer. We're going together. You must follow me. Can you do that?" "I'll try," said the whale. From the bank they all saw it, Michael and the whale swimming away side by side towards Battersea Bridge. They could hardly believe their eyes. They could see that the whale was finding it hard, puffing and blowing as he went, that Michael was battling against the tide. But incredibly, they were both making some headway. By now the rescue team had sent out an inflatable to fetch Michael in. Everyone could see what was bound to happen in the end, and that the tide was going against them, that it was too cold, that it was impossible. Both the boy and the whale tired together. They hauled Michael out of the water and brought him back to the shore. From there he had to watch his whale swim on bravely for a few more minutes before he had to give up the unequal struggle. Even Michael knew now that there was nothing more he could do, that the barge was the whale's only chance of survival. Michael was there on the shore with his mother and Mrs. Ferguson. Later that morning, when they hoisted the whale slowly out of the water and swung him out onto the great sling onto the barge that would take him out to sea. With the world watching on television, followed by a procession of small boats, the barge carried him along the river, under the bridges, past Westminster and the London Eye, and St Paul's, out towards Greenwich and the Thames Barrier, and to the sea beyond. There was a vet on hand to monitor his progress all the way. And Michael too never left the whale's side, not for one moment. He stayed with him, pouring water over him from time to time, to keep his skin moist, soothing him and talking to him to reassure him, to keep his spirits up, all the while hoping against the hope that the whale would have the strength to survive long enough to reach the open sea. Michael didn't have to ask. He could see the vet was not optimistic. He could see that his whale was failing fast. His eyes were closed now, and he had settled into a deep sleep. He was breathing, but only barely. Michael thought he did hear him breathe just one more word. "Promise," he said. "I promise," Michael replied. He knew exactly what he was promising, that he would spend his whole life keeping it, and then the whale simply stopped breathing. Michael felt suddenly very alone. The vet was examining him. After a while he looked up, wiping the tears from his face. "Why?" he asked. "I don't understand. Why did he come? That's what I'd like to know." Ahead of them, as they came back into the heart of London, flew a single white bird. It was the snowy white egret that had never left the whole way out and the whole way back. The whole of London seemed still with sadness as they passed by under Tower Bridge.
That story. So what we're going to do now is look at some of the incredible work that you've been sending to me this week, and honestly it's really put a massive smile on mine and Mrs. Wilson's faces. So let's go. those ghost stories gave me a bit of a fright. I hope I don't have any nightmares tonight. Anyway, that's enough from me. I hope you all stay safe and enjoy the sun when it finally comes back out.